Europe arranged themselves into two competitive alliances. Okay, I'll repeat that. In June of 1914, these five major countries of power in Europe, which we haven't mentioned yet, arranged themselves into two competitive alliances. Now what I mean by alliance, and let's say right now we have the alliance of Mr. Durr's AP U.S. History 1 5th period class. And we are competing against Mr. Vickers' 2nd period American government class. Okay, and all of you guys are separate countries that are loyal to me, and all of his kids are separate countries loyal to him. So kind of keep that in mind. The first alliance was called the Triple Alliance. And the two countries that belonged to the Triple Alliance were Germany. First alliance, first group, is called the Triple Alliance.
There's only two people?
Well, you wait, hang on, you'll get it. The two countries were Germany and a country now that was, it's two countries, but was one at the time, AustriaHungary. So, you had the Triple Alliance. That doesn't mean there'd be three in there, that's just what they called it. The Triple Alliance, which consisted of Germany and Austria-Hungary. I said the five major powers. Does that mean that some smaller countries might not join one of these alliances? No, so keep that in mind. But the major powers that were in the Triple Alliance were Germany and the country of Austria-Hungary. That's a broad area that is one country. And inside that one country of Austria-Hungary, we're going to have lots of other countries or provinces, okay? And we'll talk about that in a minute. The next alliance, doesn't sound like it's spelled, was the Triple Entente. The Triple Entente. And members of the Triple Entente were France, Great Britain, and Russia. Which is kind of ironic that Russia would be an ally at that time because things change in history. But anyway, the Triple Entente was France, Great Britain, and Russia. Now, Leighton, think about this. What's the danger of these two alliances concerning a war? Well, they're kind of so, even though that you may be like a student in Mr. Vickers' 2nd period government class, you're kind of buddies, you run around with them. But if this alliance here gets crossed with another student in Mr. Vickers' class, you're going to be forced to stay aligned with this class and fight against that particular person you like. That's the danger of alliances, because if one country gets involved in a conflict with another country, all the other countries then become involved. And it becomes a major problem, and it's going to lead to a world war here. Does that make sense to you? So, even though you like Johnny over in the government class, Naya hates him and she's going to fight him, and now she expects you to help her because you're in her alliance. And that's what happens. Now, when you have these type of alliances, you have a major chance there could be a war. Okay? But there's always one little thing that starts this whole thing out, the spark, right? And the spark that actually started World War I happened on June 28th of 1914. June 28th of 1914. Now, I'm going to repeat this several times, and you're going to look at me and your head's going to explode. But just keep track of what happened here, and I'll repeat it many times. Okay? Maybe you should just listen to it the first time, okay? This is the spark. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Bosnia and his wife were riding through the city streets of Sarajevo in an open automobile. All these on your ID sheet, and I'll explain it. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Bosnia. What is Bosnia? It's a country or province in Austria-Hungary. What is Sarajevo? The capital city of Bosnia. Okay? So I'll repeat that again. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, in other words, the leader of Bosnia, and his wife were riding through the city streets of Sarajevo in an open automobile. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Bosnia, which is a country or province under Austrian-Hungarian control. Does that make sense? He and his wife are riding through the city streets of Sarajevo, which is the capital city of Bosnia. Picture that in your mind, okay? Archduke Franz Ferdinand, big deal. He and his wife are in this automobile. And he's the Archduke of Bosnia, which is a country controlled by Austria-Hungary. And they are driving this open automobile through the streets of Sarajevo, which is the capital city in Bosnia. Okay? Does that make sense? Well, as they are riding in this open automobile, a 19-year-old man by the name of Gavrilo Princip rushes towards that open automobile, opens fire with a revolver, and kills both the Archduke and his wife.
Is there another
We're going to talk about that. So a 19-year-old man by the name of Gavrilo Princip rushes toward that open automobile in Sarajevo, and he fires his revolver several times, eventually killing both the Archduke of Bosnia and his wife. 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip rushes towards the open automobile, fires his revolver multiple times, eventually killing both the Archduke and his wife. Well, it just so happened that this Gavrilo Princip was from another country called Serbia, which was also under the rule of who? Austria-Hungary. The trouble was, the country of Serbia was not totally, kind of semi-revolting against Austria-Hungary, wanting their freedom. Okay? So this was seen as a country that didn't obey the rules in Austria-Hungary, right? Assassinating the leader of the country, Bosnia, that did. So it's seen as a political assassination. Does that make sense? So what happened is, after Gavrilo Princip killed the Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife of Bosnia, the government of Austria-Hungary, upset at the events, gave Serbia an ultimatum. So again, after Princip kills the Bosnian Archduke and his wife, and he's from Serbia, the government of Austria-Hungary gives Serbia an ultimatum. What's an ultimatum, Aaron?
It's like something you have to do, you get it something or something.
That's right. So I say to Aaron, it's the middle of December. Aaron, I'm going to give you an ultimatum. If you want to stay in my class, you are going to have to not wear shoes. You've got to come barefoot to school every single day, or you're out of my class. That's an ultimatum. You come barefoot, or you come barefoot, or you don't come to class. Well, in normal situations, that's going to be an ultimatum that is not going to be able to what? The guy's, he's not going to do it. Right? His mother and dad aren't going to let him do it. It's just stupid. So do you think that this ultimatum that Austria-Hungary gives Serbia might be that type of ultimatum?
Oh, yeah.
One that they know they can't or will not live up to? Well, here was the ultimatum. They had to give up all of their individual freedoms. You will give up all of your individual freedoms or else. Making them, in essence, what? Slaves within Austria-Hungary. Well, you know darn well that the people of Serbia are not going to do that. And Austria-Hungary's kind of smiling, thinking, you know what? Test us, because we have full support in Germany and Kaiser Wilhelm II. And if you think you can defy us, you will not only be defying us, you also will be defying Germany and Kaiser Wilhelm II, because we are in an alliance together. So they know that the Serbian people, or the Serbs, will not give up all their individual freedoms. They would never agree to such a harsh ultimatum. And when the Serbians refuse, Austria-Hungary, supported by Germany, declares war on Serbia. So Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia after they refuse to live by that ultimatum to give up all their freedom. Right? What starts happening, Emily? The dominoes start falling. Because here's what happens early. We have two alliances, Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente. Well, Russia backs Serbia, thinking this is a ridiculous ultimatum. So when they back Serbia, they declare war on Germany because they're aligned with Austria-Hungary. So Russia, who backs Serbia, declares war on Germany. Well, who else is an ally of Russia? France. So France then immediately declares war on Germany also. Well, since you declared war on me, Germany then declares war on both Russia and France. So the dominoes start to fall. Serbia has war declared on them by Austria-Hungary. The Russians who support Serbia declare war on Germany because they're an ally of Austria-Hungary. France then follows suit because they're an ally of Russia. They declare war on Germany. Germany then declares war on Russia and France. And when you declare war on Germany, who are you also declaring war on? Austria-Hungary. So, from this point on, Austria-Hungary and Germany are no longer known as the Triple Alliance. They will be referred to as the Central Powers when we get into this war. And will they be the only ones in the Central Powers? No, they'll be the major ones, but not the only ones. Now, Austria-Hungary and Germany, and any other small country that wanted to jump into the mix and support them, will be referred to as the Central Powers. And the Central Powers are expecting a swift and total victory in this war. They think this will be over quickly. But they are way more superior than France, way more superior than Russia. Certainly Serbia is simply just going to be thrown in there. And they expect a swift victory. Now, the strategy of the Central Powers was pretty simple. They were going to march west to defeat France and then swing east to defeat Russia. Who has not committed to help the Triple Entente? Britain. They're trying to stay out of it for now. Okay? So the Central Powers have a quick strategy. They're going to march rapidly west and defeat France, and then they're going to swing back east and defeat Russia, and this whole thing's going to be over quickly, and Great Britain won't have to worry about it, neither will the United States. Well, we have a little snafu. Because the shortest route to France was through the country of Belgium. And Belgium at this time is a neutral country, which means they do not support either the Triple Alliance or the Triple Entente, or certainly the Central Powers. They are neutral. And the shortest route for Germany and Austria-Hungary, especially Germany, to get to France is to go through Belgium. So what do? They request permission from King Albert of Belgium to move their troops through that neutral country to France. So Germany does request permission from King Albert of Belgium to move their troops through his country. They even offered Belgium payment for any damages they may cause en route. They offer to pay for any damages. Tomorrow I will tell you what King Albert's response was to having Germany march through his neutral country to go to France, even though they're going to pay for damages they may create in going through there. And that's going to lead to more people piling on and declaring war, by the way, and you'll hear that tomorrow.